All right, chat. All right. Let's get into this. Let's get into this. Okay. Okay. Well, first, you can all call me out now. You can all say D20 was wrong, that there was no core box, that you were wrong. D20, you have no idea what you're talking about. That's fair. You can say D20, you were wrong about Fantastic Four. That's fine. That's fine. You get it out of your system now, chat. It's okay. It's okay. You're right. I'll take the L. Thank you. Thank you for also thank you for everyone being here. Was the wrongest I've ever seen him. That, I mean, you know, I'm more like a broken clock, right? I guess I'm only right twice a day. You're wrong about Kool-Aid Man. So here's the thing. I'm in a really weird spot with this because what I expected was not delivered whatsoever, right? So if you were here for the last live stream, I talked about how I had certain expectations that were set by FFG, and those were not really met whatsoever. That's not a bad thing. Before we get into this, it's not a crazy bad thing, because what they did announce was great for the most part. I have some questions though. Let me just say to all my supporters or haters or whoever's out there, I'm happy you're getting Daredevil. For those that don't know, you are getting Daredevil not sold as a hero pack, which I'm gonna be kind of honest about. I'm a little shocked that they're not doing Daredevil as a hero pack, that they're selling him in the box, but cool, right? That's cool. Cool. I am so happy for that part of the community that has wanted him and just been so excited for him, right? And just wanted this for such a long time. So absolutely 100% happy for those people. Okay. What I will say, my issue, and I need to bring this up so that you understand my frame of reference here. My frame of reference is from Olivia's post on Reddit 1 month ago. And we won't go into this whole thing, but whatever. So this whole thing was done because of the out of print scenario, right? Everything was out of print. And basically she says that 2026 will be a really great year for Marvel Champions. You get a lot of insight into that in the in-flight report next month. November packs unplugged, whatever. We're not expanding the stand on lesser known heroes. Fact check, true. They're definitely not. And they're working on different things, and they say 2027 will be better, but whatever. They talk about that this whole thing wasn't done, that it was because of the environments, right? And this is what everyone was talking about. What's going on with the environments? Why don't you tell us more about the environments? Why don't you do any of that? And they didn't. This was one of the biggest questions. And I had said this in the past, that if they just came out here and just gave us a generic, like, here's the next box, I don't know if that's enough, right? Now, don't get me wrong, super hyped for Daredevil, super amazing, but that's kind of what they did. That's really it. And now, credit where I know people are gonna get mad at me. Credit where credit is due. They have given us a roadmap for the entire year. They dropped a few weird nuggets of things to me that was kind of weird. So we're gonna go through this, right? Because there's some people that may not have seen it and whatnot. So let's go through the report. Just parts of it. We're not going to watch the whole thing, right? We're not going to watch the whole thing. So, really quick. Come on. Apparently you can't watch the chat after the fact.
You saw what we just revealed for Arkham. We are going to talk about.
So they talk about Arkham. We'll talk about that later.
So this
roadmap was a super welcome challenge.
It has
Yes,
a huge
agreed.
Community out there, not only here in the U.S. but also internationally. I had the pleasure of interacting with many of them at Spiel.
Can we get rid of this chat disabled? Whatever.
Talk about all the exciting news coming from
one of the weird things with this
Josh Bepler to
was they brought out their marketing manager and not Tony to talk about this, which was interesting to me. Fun fact, this is, people were wondering what job I applied for them. This is the job I applied for.
Hi, welcome to the party.
Thank you so much.
Some people might not be as familiar with
So they talk a bit about this.
Can you tell us a bit about what
Oh,
your
shoot. I
job.
clicked outside of it. So he talks about his job, yada, yada, yada. Synthesoid, SmackDown. Okay, cool. That's fine. All fine. Wonder Man, Hercules. Okay. So they do the preview. And right away, we were like, okay, Daredevil. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I hope the villain count was a misspeak. That's this is an issue for me.
That's exactly what we knew would happen. That is exactly right. Daredevil is joining Marvel Champions. What can you tell us, Josh?
Yeah, we are thrilled. So Daredevil, alongside Echo, as two new playable heroes, will join us here in the Fear No Evil expansion. That is coming this next summer, 2026. Of course, two new playable heroes. You're going to have 3 more villains to fight.
3? We're having 3 villains. I hope it's Olivia corrected on the Discord. It's 5 scenarios, so it's gonna be 3 villains and 5 scenarios.
Against, we have plenty more information coming soon on that. But
That's
you don't
crazy.
have long to wait.
Now, when I hear Daredevil, a few other heroes.
Why
might
Echo? I don't know
pop
about
into
Echo.
One's brain. So, who's going to be joining Daredevil next year?
So with Daredevil, as you may expect, we are going to dive right into the Defenders. We
Jessica
have-
Jones and Luke
Let's hear
Cage
it.
was something
So
a lot of people
Jessica
wanted.
Jones and Luke Cage hero
Very
packs
cool to
are gonna
see.
be coming
Very
us
cool to
right
see.
After the Fear No Evil expansion.
Absolutely. The Defenders have
Also,
always been
welcome
some of
everyone in
my
the chat.
favorite
Sorry, I
heroes.
can't keep
They
up with
some of
chat.
yours as well.
They are, I think they, of course, such a fun group of heroes, but they're within, they also have a
Scenarios
great,
that have overlap villains?
rogues
Yeah.
gallery
I mean, we've
of
done
some
this, what,
really
once,
cool,
really?
enemies that they battle against. And with that, we're going to be diving
Fear No
into
Evil will have a normal
next
amount of villains as
scenario
our previous
packs,
expansions. Okay.
Shadowland. And so the
I don't know much about
Defenders will be
Shadowland.
battled
Can you all tell me
with
about it?
The shadowy crime syndicate of ninjas, The Hand.
For those not here in person, there was an oh that happened. That's the same noise we made when we saw this art for the first time. It is amazing. with the
Valmar
hand
did-
there
did.
in the
We'll get
back.
into that, too.
So we have Daredevil, Echo, Jessica Jones,
Civil
Luke
War started the
Cage,
trend.
The
At least with
Hand.
at least
It
with
feels
Civil
like
Wars
we
because
were
they gave us
only missing
PvP,
a
right?
couple final pieces.
So
left
I'd
and
give him a
everybody
pass
could
for
do.
that.
So if we're battling The Hand, you may expect we're going to see 2 more hero packs with Elektra,
Okay, Elektra, Iron Fist, cool.
again, joining Marvel Champions.
Very cool.
All right. So, to
Becomes a
recap,
baddie? Okay.
we have Wonder Man and Hercules hero packs releasing in spring of 2026, the Fear No Evil campaign expansion in summer of 2026, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage hero packs also releasing in summer of 2026, then the Shadowlands scenario pack in the fall of 2026, and rounding at the year, we have Elektra and Iron Fist hero packs releasing in winter 2026. So let it be known, Marvel Champions
Punish
is
would be
going
nice.
strong, and there is more coming to our fans in the future. Thank you so much, Josh.
That's it. Actually, there was one thing they mentioned before, and I won't try to scrub it to find it, is they talk about in the beginning of 2026, they're going to have the new rules, right? The new rules coming out, and that it's going to be a beta environment. That was just casually dropped. I don't know if I can find that really fast. Gamegenic guy. Well, let me see if I can find it.
We'll be back, of
This
course.
Gamegenic box, by the way,
to
is
talk
really
about
amazing.
Some
I
other
really like this.
amazing Gamegenic products that are coming our way, but we have so much more to chat about. Why don't we move on to Marvel Champions? We have Marvel
Yay.
Champions fans. I knew. I was warned. You are so excited about what's coming next. You saw what we just revealed for Arkham. We are going to talk about a lot today. So this is one of our pillar game lines. It has a huge community out there, not only here in the US, but also internationally. I had the pleasure of interacting with many of them at Spiel recently. And to talk about all the exciting news coming from Marvel Champions, please help me
Beta is
welcome
the current
Josh
legacy? Okay.
Bepler to the stage. Hey, Josh. Come on in.
Hello.
They
You
talk
match
about it
our
later?
chairs. This is great.
It'll blend right in.
We didn't know. It's exciting. Hi, welcome to the party.
Any word about current and legacy?
Some people
No.
might not be as familiar
More
with
information
Josh.
about current and
Can
legacy?
you
That's
tell
what
us
I'm
a bit
saying.
about what
That's
your
my
job
biggest
is
issue with all
and
this,
how
is that they told us that we would have
So
more
I'd say
information
it's
about
been a
current
little over
and
3
legacy
years of
environments.
Unexpected games,
And we did not.
Founded and run by Corey Koneska, along
Another
with,
Fireside would be cool, I agree.
Legend, frankly. And
Is that Dungeon Keeper 1100 card thing? No, the thing for Arkham holds some deck boxes for investigators and like tokens and like some scenarios.
As the new marketing manager, along
Since
with
the
your team,
SmackDown?
is to provide more consistent.
Thank you.
App Down Scenario Pack. What can you tell us about this, Josh?
Yeah, so the Civil War representing their sides respectfully, and we do have this on display here at the show.
I do like they
Check
said this
out
is
the
new
booth.
heroes.
You can get an early look at some of the cards and some of the contents there, and we're excited to confirm this is coming in early December, so just a few weeks away.
It's been really exciting seeing Civil War happen because, of course, we've introduced this brand new player versus player mode. And just to say aloud, very specifically, just because we have a new play mode does not mean
Shang-Chi
that you
is
cannot
officially dead.
play all of our Civil War products still with the
Civil War
typical
box has
co-op
been
mode.
really good so far.
Anyone concerned about that new mode, it's just optional, and it gives a really great way to kind of engage with the game in a new and unique way. Next, I know there is one more announcement that we are talking about in December. Can you tell us what is
Oh,
coming?
here it is. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely. So we're excited. In December, we're going to roll out our next rules reference.
Good.
And there
We need that.
we're going to introduce the beta environments for Marvel Champions. And so those waiting for the first look at those, you'll be able to dive right into that in just a few weeks, about mid-December.
So that will wrap up 2025. But of course, with 2026, we have announced already
That's
that we
what
are
they
kicking
mentioned.
off the year with Wonder
That's what they
Man and
mentioned. So that's was my issue, is that once again it kind of got kicked down, the can got kicked down the road, that, oh, we're going to hear about things in packs because everyone's wondering about it at print. They're so worried about, like, what are we doing with this? What's the current environment? What's the legacy environment? You told us about this a year ago. What's going on? And all of a sudden, okay. Okay. They retired their stuff without telling us in advance. They wrote like a article and had a fireside, which just wasn't enough. But they already like did the thing after the fact. He said that the expansion will be the same size as past ones. Okay, good. That's at least good news. That at least, okay, makes me feel a bit better that he misspoke. I get it. You're new, whatever. You make mistakes on the stage. Totally fine and acceptable, right? But my other only thing, I guess, is that, again, so this is our roadmap from Reddit. The Reddit fans do not seem super happy about all this. I thought we were also picking things back up, right? You remember when they slowed everything down around X-Men time and they said, okay, no, it's just like, it's a blip, right? And then Discord and Reddit, they said like, no, like it's going to be picking back up. And then it did, right? We had the Shield box and then we had Civil War, two basically boxes in a row, which was phenomenal, which is absolutely phenomenal. So we had the two, but they did keep calling it a bonus wave or a bonus cycle or whatever they called it. And I guess that means because we're just getting one from here on out, which is kind of sad. Just kind of sad. They said beta is in December. Yeah, they now did. Correct. They now did. Typical Josh B. Just saying, you would have not misspoken, D20. I mean, no, I just would have gotten the information wrong. Totally would have not misspoken. Nah, so I totally for him. Are we getting another Olivia interview? I can reach out to Olivia so she can clarify it for the fans. 100%. So this is it for 26. This is it. This is it. Which is, again, because there's a lot of new people coming in. I'm not saying that Daredevil being here is bad. Right. I am not saying that whatsoever. I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very happy that the Daredevil community is getting it. Right. I am super happy. I'm happy that they have now clarified on Reddit and whatnot that Fear No Evil will be like a normal size box. Right. It'll be normal size box. I'm excited that we're still doing 4 hero packs. That's cool. And in the past we used to do 6, but that's okay. Who's counting, right? And Shadowlands scenario pack. I've always liked more scenario packs. Give me more villain stuff. So whatever. You make sure sound crazy. So I'm not surprised they didn't do a club. Yeah, I'm a little surprised that there was no collaboration between the two. What is the beta thing in December? The beta thing, allegedly, if we take it according to the community, is beta is what they're calling the current and legacy environment in the Arkham side of things, right? So they're that's just a new phrasing for it. I think it's weird to call it beta because it makes it sound like they're just testing it out, but whatever. I mean, that's whatever. They will probably reset Avengers like the Arkham Heroes once they are out of print, I guess, at some point. But again, this was all supposed to be explained. All we had to do was wait to this, and it was all going to be explained according to Olivia. X-Men was the only 6-pack wave. The first one was, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first one was as well. Here's Daredevil. Have fun. And I thought they meant testing. That's what I thought too. Vampiric Rose, that they were doing testing with it. That's what I thought too. But apparently that's a little bit different. I'm sure they'll come out with an article on Monday or Tuesday or something like that to help clarify things up and whatnot. Which will be fine. But hopefully we'll get some more explanation sooner. Yeah. I mean, I guess we're going to get it in now. Instead of waiting for PAX now, we have to wait for December, which, okay, we'll just wait a little bit longer, I guess. But everything's already out of print, right? There's no real explanation of what's happening with the future, right? That's kind of what we were promised of, like, what's going on. They were like, guys are asking a lot of questions. Quick, make a Daredevil expansion, basically. Yeah. So Daredevil's hype. I'm excited for it. Think they deleted any announcement? I don't know. I think they're probably still finishing up the rules. They probably want to package it together, right? Realistically, my guess would be they want to, instead of just having an announcement that's like, here's the current and legacy environment. And there's not much to that to really say besides everything old is dead and everything new is what you should buy. They packaging it with a new rules makes sense because they probably want in the rules to say this is how you can play with current and legacy environments, right? So that kind of makes sense to me, right? So that doesn't make a ton of not sense to me. Maybe Vault series for reprints. So this is the other interesting thing. Oops, that's the wrong one. That they talked about was, of course, they finished with SWU. So they do talk about the Vault series, and we should mention this because this was left very open and a little interesting.
Be excited to announce the launch,
which was already based on your conversation with MJ. The Defenders was already complete. So when we talked to MJ said, I believe her words, and it's been a little while, was that they already had worked on it, but I don't know if it was like complete. Right. It was worked on. So I'm going to guess when we actually see the Defender stuff, you're going to see a lot of like, Caleb's name on it and someone, the other guys who I can't think of their name on it. Like, you're probably going to see other names on it that like helped it because they probably used original design and just Tony tweaked it.
Of our FFG Vault series. So what the Vault series
make the rules less than
is a series that is run through crowdfunding where we take a look at some of our older games. Things that might be out of print, hard to find. We see nostalgia for them, and we want to make it easier for y'all to get your hands on those products. So we're going to be taking a look case by case, making some thoughtful changes, but really like preserving that core game that you're used to.
It's exciting because if I know one thing about Fantasy Flight Games fans is that they love the classic products. So of course,
makes a little sense to have new environment without new core rules.
Yeah, figuring out different
at least cleaned up rules.
Engage with them. And by adding in this crowdfunding idea, it is a really great way to kind of look at the roots of FFG and kind of bring us back to that a bit. When we bring in these products in, are there anything, is there going to be like major changes or shifts, or what's that going to look like?
So one thing is, if you ever taught one of our games to your friends.
Yeah, Daft, they did. I'll show you in a second.
Often our rule books are a little bit, most of the time, except when. So I'm going to give some overarching themes of the Vault series.
I agree.
Like, don't pin me to any single one, right? So first and foremost, these are the game mechanics of these Vault series products. The mechanics will remain intact. These are not going to be new editions of these games. We're going to still be bringing in new stuff, just not through the Vault series. But what we will be doing
Bog's Return, 100%.
Updated things like updated art, graphic design, quality of life improvements to things like the layout of boards or player aids and things like that. Speaking of the expanded resources you brought up earlier, we now have things like a rules specialist in-house. So we can take a look at some of these older rule books, bring them into modern FFG sensibility, make sure they're straightforward and legible for everybody who's trying to learn these games for the first time. Then we're going to be looking at some fancy upgrades, things like that we can do. For the most part, you can consider the Vault series like ultimate or collector's editions of these games.
Amazing. It's perfect. So there is so much more coming from board games. I know people have been asking what's next. Caitlin is leading an amazing team, and of course, we have a lot more coming. So let's hear it for.
So that's what they mentioned with that. And again, you could read that as it's just board game related, 100%. But, you know, we as Marvel Champions fans will hold on to anything, right? We'll hold on to anything. So there's a shot that it is related to other things as well. So you were wondering before what the other things were. So Fear No Evil is was it Echo and Daredevil? Then they're doing hero packs of Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Elektra, and Iron Fist. So, of course, like the Vault series doesn't talk about what it is. It's, I feel like, as close as they can get to print on demand. Like, we have been clamoring for print on demand stuff. I feel like that's as close as you can get to it. And yes, they'll probably do board games first, I would assume. But it doesn't mean that there's not a chance, right? Just let me have hope, chat. Let me have hope for a minute. All those Nightmare packs, all those Arkham Horror Return to boxes. Like, Return to boxes, they own all the artwork stuff, right? Marvel might be a little trickier with licensing stuff, so I'll you know, I get that be trickier, but Lord of the Rings, Arkham, okay. Vault series doesn't sound like they do hero packs, but we'll see. Again, I think Marvel will be tougher. I mean, if they're gonna get into, I mean, they could get into Legend of the Five Rings and stuff like that, right? One key thing to know is that the printers they had were bought by Ghost Galaxy. Okay. That'd be huge for customers and a smart business move. I'm not convinced they're doing it. I guess Vault is not, we just don't know what Vault is. Now, again, the Vault series was brought up after they talked about board games, but it was kind of after they talked about everything, right? So first they started with LCGs, then some board game stuff, because they talked about the products they got from CMON. They're getting into the Kickstarter space with the CMON stuff, right? With Cthulhu May Die and Zombicide and whatnot. So they're getting into the crowdfunding space, which makes sense because, again, FFG, well, not FFG, Asmodee, and in turn, FFG has $800 million of debt, right? So Vault sounds like Fallout. All right. I'm riding if they reprint the last two L5R boxes that I vastly overpaid for. Or no. Bold strategy con. Yes, please like the stream. I appreciate it. So yeah, so there with the Vault series, there's a lot of possibility, and that is something that if Olivia were to agree to come onto the channel, I would love to talk to her about. Like, is it open to truly anything, right? Like, give us that hope if it's there. Or if the hope is not there, just shut it down now and say, hey, we're only looking at board games right now, but years down the road, maybe, right? Like, you can leave it open and like that. That's fine. I won't be that upset with it and whatnot. But yeah, they had the Game Genic guy come on. Thank God the Game Genic guy only talked for less than 20 minutes because last time it was like 30 minutes and it was just a bit too long. But one of the weird things with the Game Genic stuff was they did some cool things for Arkham, but then not for Marvel. And then they came back for SWU, which was a little weird because one of the things they showed for Game Genic, which we can bring it up. I think this is actually really cool for Arkham, is like hero boxes, or not hero, investigator boxes, and this big old box. And they show it on stage. And the box basically holds this stuff, holds tokens, holds scenarios, and then this bad boy pops open to hold like more tokens underneath and all your rule books and stuff. And the idea is that you can carry it to game night. I know I give Game Genic a really hard time, like a lot of times. I actually think this is a really cool box. I think this is a really cool idea. And it looks stylish, it looks nice, and I really hope it does well for Arkham, that they can do it with Marvel. My only worry is that there's like issues with Marvel licensing, because right, you have to use the Marvel logo and whatever. I don't know if maybe they would like wink and nod and do like a generic one of these and just have it be the same but no branding on it. Maybe that's the strategy with it, right? You could probably do something like that, but they might still be working on those licensing issues. So I understand that. It's just a different beast to deal with that. With the Arkham stuff, again, they gave a roadmap which it seemed like in chat, they won't show us the chat anymore, was pretty interesting. So what they're doing is the new core box, then a bunch of investigator packs, then a 3 campaign mini scenario pack, and then a regular scenario pack. So this was their release cycle, which for Arkham people, this is pretty decent, I guess. I'll let the Arkham people speak on it more. I think it's not bad. Again, it's interesting because they're definitely setting up like this is the new foundation of the game, right? The new foundation is starting with this box. These packs is what they sold a little while ago. Not the same ones, obviously, but different investigator starter packs, which they were all great, by the way. I was a big fan of them. Small scenario box, pretty cool. And this scenario pack is cool. Again, another big thing that I have to give them credit for is at least they are giving us roadmaps, right? We've talked about this on stream that I really hope they do roadmaps moving forward. I really hope so. The odd thing with 2.0, many investigators, no campaigns. To me, that speaks that they're trying to set everything up, right? So they're trying to get the new player base set up and then get rolling. But I agree, it would have been nice if at the end of the year they had like a scenario box. I'm guessing the new core and evergreen heroes in 2027. I don't know, man. I really don't know. That's what I wanted to learn about all this with. I wanted to learn what exactly the future was. I mean, that was my biggest thing that I wanted to know with all this is what is the future moving forward? What is the plan with evergreen? Because they use the term evergreen constantly in the Arkham section. They never once used it in this section. Like the word, wherever it is, the words evergreen never come up in here, which I know, again, might just be they're on stage, they're trying to remember things, they're trying to who knows, right? Whatever. This is a grass to greener situation. I feel like the Arkham Horror announcements are more exciting than the Marvel Champions. I think the reason being is because Arkham has been getting dumped on so much recently that like you can't even find any of this stuff. Like Drown City that just came out, you can't find it. The chat that's now disabled said constantly like, please reprint this, please reprint this, please reprint this. Like, and they just can't find it. Are you hyped, D20? What do you think overall? So my mind's kind of bifurcated on this, to be honest. Am I hyped for this? For Daredevil and Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Elektra, Iron Fist? I don't know enough about Shadowlands, but I like scenario packs. Am I hyped for this? Like the actual physical announcement, am I hyped for this? Yes. The answer is very simple. Yes, I am excited for Daredevil. I think they can do some really cool things. I think it will be really exciting. I'm a big Elektra fan. I really like Iron Fist. I think there's some cool things they could do with it. Jessica Jones, I've always liked in Marvel Champions. I didn't ever watch the show, but Luke Cage, I've liked as a hero. Like, yes, I'm excited for the product itself. My disappointment side is I felt like promises were made and promises were not kept. And maybe it's because we read way too much into every little thing she says, but again, the big issue with the original thing with this was that all your questions about out of print, all your questions were legacy and current environments. They will be, and you can go through all the chat or comments and stuff to see where she answered people. That you just have to wait till PAX. I can't say anything yet because you have to wait till PAX. And that's the part to me that was like, not heartbreaking because that's way too strong of a word, but that's the part to me that was just like, we didn't get that. Like, I thought we were going to get that. I thought we were going to get some things. And we got our marketing guy out there. What was his name? Josh or whatever. Yeah, Josh. Seems like a very nice guy. But I don't think he knows a lot of what's going on yet. He's probably not in tune with our community yet of like how desperately we want things. It just, feels like they way overpromised. They did. And again, they could sit there and say like 20, because the thing she finishes with is that 2027 might be even better than 2026, which is really saying something. And I understand why she would make that comment, right? Because Daredevil is a really, really agreed about, or not, Daredevil is really, really wanted in this community. So 2027, I'm not 100% sure how you top Daredevil in this space, right? Because Daredevil's been asked about since like day one. Like Fantastic Four, I'm on board with, but I don't think Fantastic Four has been asked about quite as much, but it's been asked for a lot. So I don't know what that means. And again, this is a big thing now. So now people are expecting Okay, Daredevil was something that was asked for a lot, like for a long time, and you're gonna do better than that. I'm okay. I'm excited. Content wise, it's good. There's just no info on the future release model. Yeah. As a person who is not an X-Men or Defenders fan, I'm sad again. Yeah. The thing is, like, there's still a lot of heroes. I know a lot of people wanted Punisher with this. Where is it? I know a lot of people wanted Punisher in here. So it's a little sad to see them not do Punisher yet. That is kind of like, Punisher is someone I really want to see. Now, I know other people in chat, you've mentioned before that there is other ways to get him in there, and maybe that's what's coming in 2027. It is the Punisher, is the Ghost Rider. I also have said this too. Shape Manny, welcome to chat. No Marvel Champions core box announcement. Nope, this is the announcement. Another expansion, which again, happy with this expansion. The other thing, what was I just saying with that? Wait. Oh, the other thing I've mentioned on the live streams too is that a lot of people with the past 2 cycles with Civil War and Shield have been kind of like, man, they really need to do something big, right? They need to do something big. And I kind of get why they believe this is a big thing, because it is a big thing. I'm not going to downplay and be like, oh, Daredevil's terrible, blah, 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 blah. Like, no, that's fine. So I feel like they rested a lot on this being the big announcement. The next thing being the big announcement, because Civil War and Shield were so just kind of like, eh. And actually, funny enough, like, I really like Civil War. I haven't finished all the villains or the leaders yet, and I haven't played the PvP mode, but I've really liked Civil War so far. I think it's been really, really good. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I feel like monthly releases will never happen again. Nope. I think we're done with that. I think we're at 1 cycle. And I think they need to make all the SWU space. SWU they have. Did y'all see the amount of SWU stuff coming out? I don't know if they show the frame of the last one. I think they do. I think it's a little bit later, but it won't preview it. Yeah, it won't show up. I mean, they have done in the past 3 things for SWU, and now they're doing 5. I think it's 3. Maybe it's 4. You can correct me, but outside the LCG stuff, it's great. News that FFG has Cthulhu May Die. It's such a fantastic game, so it's great that it has a new home. Steven, yeah. I know a lot of people were hyped about that in chat, which was really, really cool. Civil War is good. I've enjoyed Civil War. I know people are like kind of mixed on it. Like, there's some people that just don't like it because it has the PvP stuff in it. I haven't done the PvP stuff, and like, it's still been it's just been a good box. It's been fun. I thought we were going to go to more releases. I thought so too. That's the other thing that kind of was weird to me, is that they talked about how we're going to get more and more and more. We had one slowdown in the past, which was the during when SWU first really needed all the printers to redo and whatnot, and it feels like we're just never going back to that release schedule of what it used to be. This is our new one. That is not an atypical release. No, Blue Smoke, you're 100% right. You're 100% right that most TCGs print a ton of them. I'm just saying, for in the past, SWU has only done like 3, so they're really bumping those numbers up. And I assume that's why it's kind of pulling from some other stuff. I mean, it has to, right? There's only so much limited space. So no, Blue Smoke, you're 100% right. For TCGs, that is completely normal. It's just different for SWU. That's all I'm saying with that. I don't see them ever making a wave of playable villains. I don't think so either. PvP is not why I got into the game. It's fair. That's fair. I'm personally happy without more PvP. I think PvP is what we got and we're done. I think Civil War is it. We're done with it, I think. Is SWU really selling that well? Yes. From everything I've heard internally, and you can even hear in the podcast with Caleb, it's selling like hotcakes. It's selling like hotcakes. It's from my understanding, it's like Arkham, Marvel, SWU, right, in sales. And again, they have a lot of debt that they got from Embracers, so they kind of have to. Civil War's on its way, but Trickster Takeover is still not available in Sweden. I also hated the blanked out art previews, as it mostly sparked arguments. Glad to have Marvel Champions. Yeah, I think with the blanked out previews, like, I enjoyed it because I enjoyed the speculation, and I get your part where like it got like really heated after like a week of it and whatnot. People were just like, and then they would just dogpile on the person, and it's just like, okay, bros. Let's chill out. You know what I mean? So I get that. If I had to choose between roadmap and the shadow or the shadowed silhouettes, the roadmap's nice. I mean, it's what I've been asking for, right? So I like it because now we don't have to speculate. Now we don't have to wonder. We know what it's gonna be, and it lets buyers know moving forward. Okay, what do I want to get and not get? Because again, I point back to Drowned City. If you don't get it when it pre-orders, good luck. I don't mind the PvP idea, but the thing is that what with that is you have to make it a wave. It can't just be random, so it doesn't make much sense to support often. Yeah. I was at my LCG today and people were just buying up all the SWU packs. Yeah. I prefer the roadmap too. Yeah. SWU has been really well received and TCGs are popular, so that makes sense. Yeah. I just don't like Star Wars or TCGs, so it's sad. Yeah, I get that. Makes me more excited for DC Legendary. Dude, give me that. The interview is coming out soon. It's edited. It's coming out real soon, probably Monday. With Bego Top Games, we get into all of the DC Legendary stuff. He has some good insights. Get hyped. SWU is behind, or the fourth biggest behind One Piece. That's crazy. SWU is doing really well. I know they're on the Reddit page for SWU. People are like, "Oh, my community's dying," but like, yes, anecdotally in your little community it might be dying, and I'm sure we felt this as Marvel Champions players too in certain stores. But I think the overall picture is SWU is doing really, really well. Are they voting co-op in SWU to avoid a hit to Marvel Champions? I don't think so. I think it's just they would have to design. Like, I assume with Lorcana, it was a pretty intensive effort to try to design that, and they just don't want to put the resources into it yet, right? They want to probably keep printing money. I mean, I hope they do co-op in SWU. I do. I don't know how the SWU community feels about it. They might hate it. You know, I don't know. But as somebody who's just like wants that because I like SWU and want to play it, I don't know. Also, Marvel Champions shares almost the same DNA as Transformers TCG. It was so it was an auto buy for me. With the release of the movie, I was really expecting Fantastic Four wave. So with my podcast with Caleb, I mean, he really alluded, I thought, to Fantastic Four. Like, because he was like, you know, the movie's coming out, and it'd be silly for us not to kind of go with the movie and whatnot. Like, it was a little weird. And maybe there's Daredevil stuff coming out that like, I'm not super in tune with this stuff, so maybe it's coming out. I don't know. Now even more hyped, yeah. So yeah, for those that are wondering, am I excited for Daredevil stuff? Yeah, I'm excited. I'm buying all of this. Like, there's no doubt in my mind I'm buying all of this. And compared to Shield, am I more hyped than Shield? Yes, 100%. More hyped than Civil War? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like Civil War. I've wanted Civil War for a long time, mainly for the villains or the leaders, but not for the heroes per se. Though Tiger has been fantastic, let me tell you. And Wonder Man and Hercules, I'm kind of hyped for too. But am I more hyped for this than those things? Yeah, for sure. They're waiting for Doom and Avengers, in my honest opinion. It kind of makes sense, right? There is a Daredevil season 2 coming. Okay, good to know. Punisher, Black Cat, Blade, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, all of them could fit this wave, yeah. Which, maybe they do 2 waves, right? I mean, the Daredevil wave, or the Fear No Evil wave, it could be that, because they've done this in the past, that there is a continuation of it, right? That's not out of the realm of possibility. Ooh, that was really loud. Sorry, it was so loud. Daph, thank you for using your Prime sub, dude. And Zom, thank you for using a Tier 1 sub earlier. I missed that. I apologize. Hoping for an Orson Randall ally in the future. Iron Fist with guns. I love it. If Caleb was hinting that hard with Fantastic Four, that's probably what 2027 is. Remember, he's like 2 years in the future always. Yeah, I know he's always 2 years in the future, but I just figured he knew when all that was coming out. So, you know. But they have been known, Marvel Champions, to switch around things and product lineups. So they barely scratched 3 villains for this box. The hand, I don't know how many villains left for another wave unless they go back to Spider Foes. So just because there might be new people here, FFG has confirmed that Fear No Evil will have more than 3 villains, or at least more than 3 scenarios. I want to get Olivia on here to help explain it, but it's not 3. He misspoke. It will be 5. Is this not just a rehash of Daredevil and Defenders they can in the past? We don't know, because we don't know what it looks like. but it probably, I'm gonna guess you will see Boggs's and Caleb's name on it with Tony. So I could definitely see a Punisher and Moon Knight in this wave. Yeah. Iron Fist will be a redesigned War Machine with counters. Where Key, is that how you say it? Kai? They haven't touched a lot of magic villains and aliens. What if they showed off Valkyrie 2 in this presentation? That somehow makes her more broken. Just kidding. She's busted as is. Yeah, I mean, you can't make her more broken. That's for sure. I have experience with licensing. It's likely that they do most of the license purchasing in bundles, and something Ghost Rider and Punisher are likely separate licenses and increase the cost. One of the things that when we do the other thing that's interesting is this will be coming out probably Monday with Bagel Top Games, talking about DC Legendary, is he talks a bit about Marvel licensing for Legendary. And one of the fascinating things was that the Fantastic Four licensing was really, 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 really weird for a long point of time. Like really weird for a long point in time, that like Fantastic Four couldn't be seen with anything else for whatever reason. So he said very recently that has changed. I think in the Spider-Man 2099 pack that changed. So again, Fantastic Four with like other things might be a really weird licensing issue or something going on. So yeah. They see what they did here in the box with Daredevil, Echo. It will be Echo. So Daredevil and Echo, and then Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Elektra, Iron Fist. 5 snares. I would guess there's a villain who makes it 2 snares like APOC did in Age of Apocalypse. Do you all count that as the same villain twice? So I saw that argument what they did it with the Collector and Apocalypse. I count those as 2 different villains. The On the Run and the other one from Next Evolution, I can't remember. On the Run and whatever the other one is, use the same villain. So I would count that as the only time they ever used the same villains twice. But I count for the other way different. I was thinking Norman and Green Goblin as well. That's true. Well, yeah, Green Goblin was technically used twice, I guess. Yeah, so that's a good one. Don't they always just drop 3 villains in the announcements and then they have 2 surprise? So yes, the idea was just that instead of saying there's 5 villains, like he didn't say what they were, right? He just said like 5 villains. Morlock Siege, thank you, Marauders. Apocalypse is Apocalypse. Well, one's Apocalypse and one's Ensabar. But I agree, but I'm just saying using the same cards. Like that was the original theory, right? Is it 3 villain cards and then the villain cards that you use in this one, you also use in this one, right? Yeah. I mean, we don't know. So Onslaught and Heroes Reborn wave. Never know. Yeah, they don't like to mix things with the Fantastic Four. Yeah. I didn't realize it was such a big thing that Fantastic Four doesn't like to be mixed in with other things. And I don't know if that's a part of the problem. So marketing manager, and here you are clarifying more than FFG to regard to Marvel Champions. Bless the community and you. I will give him, look, I've done lots of presentations on the big stage. I've slipped up my words too. I get it. And I'm happy FFG was very, very quick to hop on to the Discord. And I think maybe they did in Reddit too. I haven't looked through the comments yet in a little while. So Shadowing is an expansion or a scenario pack. Yeah, Shadowlands is in this scenario pack. All they did was show this image for it. So Evil Daredevil. That's all we know about it. I'm hoping it's like a 2-3 scenario pack with it that we've seen in Mojo, and the Tricks or Takeover is only 2, but still. And we've seen it with actually the only one that hasn't really been 3 or multiple. Well, I guess is the Hood wasn't, Wrecking Crew wasn't, and the other one wasn't. Kang wasn't. So I guess it's like half and half, right? Same character equals same villain, different server. That's fair. That's fair. And that's the thing. It's all like weirdly an interpretation. Generation X, I will do whatever I have to in order to manifest into existence. Could be a PvP add-on. I don't think it will be. I think they're going to be done with PvP. But who knows? I've been wrong about a lot of things. The comic Shadowland is okay, to be honest. Don't talk about me. Actually, I recall some complaining about APOC being included twice in that box. Yeah, I remember that. The last post on Reddit is fun info. Is it the Marvel Champions timeline release one? Or is there a new one? Did Olivia comment in here? Okay, they just say Olivia fixed some things. Is it this one? Do we think there might be a surprise in the box or a surprise hero scenario like Punisher? No, I don't think so. I mean, you never know, but I don't think so. I think it's just 5 scenarios. I think again the dude just misspoke, which totally chill. Yeah, that's fine. Top comment, no Punisher. That's really disappointment here, and it's a pretty big one. Been very keen on Daredevil as a hero. Assume this means we will get Fisk villain. Awesome for the Spidey fans. I think they advertise it from the rooftops if it's Punisher. I agree with you. Finally coming. So excited. Yep, let's go. We're going to need some details on why 3 scenarios. Again, they clarified this. Especially has 3 villains instead of 5. Again, allegedly misspoke. Hopefully we'll get them clarified. If you're not in the US, you'll see this on 2027. Where's Fantastic Four? A bit underwhelming overall. I mean, Daredevil's expansion is really nice, but I thought they would present more news related to the future of the game. I agree. Bit underwhelmed. I know people have been wanting Daredevil for a while, but I've been wanting FF or Fantastic Four or Midnight Suns way longer. No news on the redoing of classic heroes. That is true. I actually, for a split second, I thought they were going to say like. So one of the thoughts floated out there was when they did this whole thing, where they showed in Arkham some of the older investigators, like these 3 are older investigators, but just being redone, and then 2 new ones. I was like, oh, and they talk about how it's evergreen and whatnot. I was like, oh, are they going to do this for Marvel Champions? Like, are they going to have like a couple of packs and like call it a thing? I really thought that was going to be a thing for a bit, but oh well. Daredevil before Fantastic Four is wild. So we're not getting 4 set of heroes for Civil War. But also Defender. Well, we kind of are, right? In a weird way with a box of 2. Kind of. So excited for this Defenders wave. I sat out for Civil War. Has it occurred to anyone that Punisher will be a villain? Yeah. I mean, he could be, but worth noting, Civil War wave, as FFG calls, is not wave 10. Yeah, the Civil War wave, they've also said is also a bonus wave. So I don't know if that was just a part of it. Only scenario big box of the year? Yes. So Fear No Evil is the only big box of the year. There will not be more. We will not be going to the old way of doing things. I don't think they will do Punisher anytime soon. His public perception is complicated, and other games have mentioned him being off the table for inclusion, which is a shame. It's very much a shame. Something bigger than Daredevil for 2027 could be DC Champions. I hope not. My poor wallet. I don't know. I would assume that the bigger things would be Fantastic Four. Shang-Chi, where's my bro at? I know, right? I want Shang-Chi really bad, too. Is there going to be a surprise? Oh, I already read that. I happen to be looking at a quick analysis of release cadence. Hold on, let me find that. Dream Waved, I'm hype. A quick analysis of cadence release. Average scenarios per year since core. Oh. Yeah, wow. Okay. If you didn't catch the other post, they made a mistake regarding the number of villains in the next box, which definitely freaked people out. Olivia has issued a clarification in the Discord. However, this topic did cause me to wonder about the overall release cadence for Marvel Champions. Assumptions. The next campaign box will have 5 scenarios as per Olivia's correction and release around June. The following scenario pack will have 2 scenarios and release around September 2026. Again, we're assuming this. It might be more, it might be less. We just don't know. Would like to see 2 expansions for the year compared to one a scenario pack. I agree, TM. I'm right there with you. All right, so I'm a bit confused by the graph. What's the axis? Where are the counts per year? No, I accidentally marked Mojo as having 2 scenarios instead of 3. It doesn't significantly affect the trend, just FYI. Should also do the heroes and total count just for the complete. Yeah, I'd like to see more of this, like more understanding of what I'm looking at exactly. Said that the local game store said FF or Fantastic Four is more popular with boomers. Bendis Defenders is more popular with millennials. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, Fantastic Four has been around for like ever, right? Let's see. Somebody else is hyped. As a fan of Marvel Knights, wave in the early 2000 combat comics. This incredible wave, Daredevil coming in the box is a great move. I also think this is a really interesting move because if you would have asked me, if you would have told me Daredevil is definitely happening next year, right? But we don't know any more about it, I would say, oh, they sell as a scenario pack, right? Why wouldn't they? Of course they should. So I was a little shocked, and it's good to see that in case people just want Daredevil, they're getting a lot of content with their Daredevil, so that's cool. Echo has a lot of cool hooks for the game. Jessica Jones rules. If you never read Alias by Bendis, now is the time. Really hoping for a lot of alter ego actions. Luke Cage gets a lot of shine from me through his relationship with Jessica, but now he's evolved as a character. Tufts galore, I imagine. Fraction's Immortal Iron Fist series really endeared me to Danny Rand. Excited for many stunts. Elektra, who is not my most favorite, but lots of cool things to adapt, right? Super excited. Shadowlands a scenario pack? Yes. Yes, Shadowland is a scenario pack. We just don't know much about the scenario pack. Somebody else is commenting, I'm a bit disappointed, but I'm not sure is because I don't understand who is in the Defenders, and if this means they will do the Midnight Suns thing, maybe? Are Punisher, Moon Knight, and Blade related to Midnight Suns at all? I didn't think so. Well, maybe. Well, Punisher is it? We get Daredevil title upgrade for Elektra. Yeah, right. Hopefully. Blade and Moon Knight would make sense with Midnight. Blade and Moon Knight would make sense with the Midnight Suns wave, basically the horror corner of the Marvel Universe. Punisher is a bit of a head scratcher here. I would have expected him in the Defenders themed wave. There are still enough street level heroes to have another wave. Cloak and Dagger, 100%. Again, there is definitely a shot that the next year, 2027, is just more Defender stuff, right? Because there's, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a lot of people hyped for certain villains in the Defenders wave, right? Ed Barrison's Iron Fist series slaps, and it goes right into Damnation by Donnie Crook, which is one of the funnest Doc Strange comics in years. Midnight Suns are horror and supernatural, but they do interact with street level heroes. Okay, thank you. Elsa Bloodstone, Morbius, Blade, Moon Knight, Punisher. The issue is Elsa being the only female. Not sure they get to add gender diversity. Clea. They say the upcoming spread for Defenders was going to be completely... No, they did not say that. So that does give people hope with things. Fair point with boomers. Fantastic Four has not been upper level comics since the late 80s. Yeah. Try to keep each wave theme synergized. I would be completely shocked if they do not do a Midnight Suns wave with those three, Ghost Rider, and anyone else they want to add, Man-Thing, Nico, Morbius, Wong, etc. I don't think on any planet they would do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box and some of the Civil War packs and never do a Midnight Suns wave. I agree that they'll probably do a Midnight Suns wave at some point. It's going to be interesting to see Namor and Silver Surfer added to the game after Echo because they're not part of the Defenders wave, a team they were originally founders of. Interesting. Elsa Bloodstone would be dope. I have the custom one and it rules nice. Midnight Suns could also include Ghost Rider and Morbius heroes as well as Mephisto, Dracula, Blackheart as villains. Which Ghost Rider though? Maybe it's all Ghost Riders. All Ghost Riders all the way down. I don't think Moon Knight or Blade would have been associated at all with this version of Defenders. I'm not surprised they decided to do Punisher. 2027 is right around the corner. And again, maybe that's what they do with that. My pitch originally was Heroes for Hire expansion, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage packs, Black Cat, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Punisher, Midnight Suns expansion with Cloak, Dagger, hero packs, Blade, Elektra, Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze, and Robbie Reyes, and Moon Knight. Original Defenders is Strange, Valk, Namor, Surfer. Modern Defenders is Daredevil, Luke, etc. Oh, bring back Valkyrie. Thinking Shadowland the villains will have Bullseye and Deathstalker in it. And it's gonna have bad Daredevil. That's what it made it look like on the cover. Johnny Blaze will Riot. Hellstorm and Satana be good. Elektra, Ghost Rider, I forgot. Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, or nothing. Who cares what comes next? Valkyria Valkyrie, I assume, will remain S tier, 100%. Johnny Blaze would be my pick. Don't hate catch though. If they release Elsa Bloodstone, I want Tammy, Boom Boom, and Machine Man to get a release at some point. My impossible wish is the next wave team be in this game. We just need the captain as a reprint, print and play hero. Yeah. Choosing Echo over Punisher is mind-boggling, so I'm with you there. To my knowledge, Moon Knight and Blade aren't in ties with the Defenders. Yeah. Like, if you're going to have, like, a lesser-known hero, putting it in the big box makes the most sense. OG Defenders is Hulk, Namor, Strange, and Silver Surfer. Okay. It's funny. Have the Defenders. No, you can't buy Strange, Hulk, or Valkyrie. We want your money, but not that. Man-Thing, Drake, or Dark Hawk. Morbius would be with Moon Knight and Blade. Defenders, first team, and Hulk, Silver Surfer, Doctor Strange, and Namor, Val, and Nighthawk. Okay. Also, 3 villains compared to 5 we normally get in the expansion. No. They corrected that, TM. It's going to be 5. They corrected it after the fact. So, because that was my big thing. I was like, whoa, what? But they did correct that in the Marvel Champions Discord. Olivia did. Now, we don't know if it's actually like 3 villains and 5 scenarios or 5 different villains. We have no idea yet. But there are 5 scenarios at least, not going to be 3. So it's quite possible that there are 3 villains and then just 2 of them are used twice, I guess. Which, we'll see. We'll see. X-Men X-Force expansion? I don't know if they would do it again. The first one was tough. We got shut down in 2020 because Netflix series was done by that time. Yeah. I'm still wondering when we get Wiccan, so couples can play him and Hulkling together. I know, right? I want Wiccan. All right, what we got? Big concerns after the in-flight report today. First, I'm super excited about the content we did get. I wanted Daredevil and could be more excited for it. That said, I thought we were supposed to be returning to the previous content cycle. Agreed. And I really expected 2 boxes and 2 to 4 heroes next wave. Very disappointed to just see a single effective cycle. I agree with that. More importantly, we got literally 0 news about virtually the entire card pool being out of print. It really feels to me like FFG is checking off a few boxes of Daredevil, Fantastic Four. I'm really concerned about the game's ending after 2027. Am I crazy here? So this was brought up a few times in chat, right? Is the game done now? Is the game done now? I don't think so. I think the strategy is Marvel really wants to like Echo. I don't care about her at all. I know nothing about her. The first time I've heard of Echo today was this stream. So I know there's a few people that have been saying this, like they're really concerned about like the game being done. Of course we've done this. For those of you that are old like me, we have done this in the past where the game is dead. The game is dead. I don't think it is. I think what they're trying to do is they had 2 waves that were kind of like not received super well. And they probably knew because it was like lower tier heroes, right? Again, I like Civil War a lot. But as far as the heroes go, it's not like the S tier heroes that we're expecting and whatnot. Shield was kind of like hit and miss with a lot of people, including myself. So I think they wanted to come out of the gates for 2026, 2027 and just like be massive. Right, just be like massive hits. Obviously, Daredevil, one of the biggest hits you can ask for, right? Fantastic Four, I think, is a big hit. They do more of the Defender stuff if they do a second wave of their Defenders, right? That's phenomenal. So I don't see it dying. I think they just have to get people back on track, right? They have to get people back into like, okay, let's get hyped, let's get hyped. So, they probably want to see what happens with Arkham Horror 2.0 and learn from it. I mean, actually, there's some truth to that for sure. There have been reprints in recent packs and expansions like Night Nurse. Yeah, but the issue is like you can't get Captain America and stuff like that anymore. I think it's the bigger thing. If I had to guess, 3 of the 5 scenarios will be against Bullseye, Kingpin, and Hand Remastered. They could have a Capstone villain. Could be a Deadcon Frost to tie to the horror expansion next. Echo is a female Taskmaster for graphic reflex. Okay, that's good now. I'm down for Morlock Siege and On the Run villain. Approach reprint. If they do it, I don't want to say better, but if they do it a little tighter, yeah. With Daredevil and new Defenders coming out, this game could end. I wouldn't care. I'll say it again. Netrunner is dead. Long live Netrunner. Not dead, but maybe in recovery mode. That's how I feel, Arrow. That it's not dead. They just want to get people back on the hype train. Right? Like, okay, we did our C tier heroes, right? We let Caleb do the PvP stuff because Civil War was something, myself included, have been asking for a long time. I've very much enjoyed Civil War and the leaders and fighting them. I've enjoyed Tiger more than I thought I would. So I'm good with that. But I do agree that they have to put out some big name heroes and cycles to kind of like get people back, you know, back on board. To get the general audience, right? Because again, not Asmodee. Asmodee has a lot of debt, which I'm sure gets passed on to FFG, and they need to start printing money. And so they need people to be hyped. They need these big name heroes to start going crazy with this stuff. It makes sense to me. Wonder Man Hercules says spring 2026, but they're out in February. February is the new spring, I guess. Or they're winking and nodding. Hey, it's gonna be delayed. It's gonna be delayed. I guess I should grab Civil War before it's too late then. Yeah, and that's the other thing is like, again, we don't know anything anymore about when things are going in and out of print, right? This was the big question ahead of time that we were going to get answers to, and we didn't. And I think that's why a lot of people are just kind of like, quote unquote, disappointed. They were really stretching their Marvel people out. Possibly, yeah. Maybe Falcon and Shuri were tests for the redone Heroes concept. I could see that too. And that was, well, I think that was a question that was asked. I can't remember off the top of my head they answered it. If we're going to see like true reprints of Captain America, or would you get like Falcon version of it? Echo is a fun character. She is a newish character in the Marvel Universe, last 20-ish years. But I feel like she's mostly there because they got her and probably won't sell well on her own. I agree with that. Okay. I'm enjoying the deeper cut heroes, but I'm a comic geek. Yeah, Jeffrey, like for me, like I want the big names for the game to succeed, but I care more about mechanics, right? I know nothing about Tigra, but man, do I love her. Putting Elektra, for example, with Daredevil in the box lowers sales for a pack, agreed. The game needs Sage from X-Men X-Force if it wants to survive past 2027. I hope they get the X-Men licensing back. I mean, if they want money, announce Core 2, 5 Evergreen Heroes, Fantastic Four, and Defenders. The issue that I still have, again, my biggest concern about all this, again, for those that are new, I love that they're doing Daredevil. I'm very happy for the Daredevil folks. I think that's great. Constantly in this, they talk about evergreen content in the Arkham section, right? This is evergreen content. The box is evergreen. How do they phrase it? This is evergreen. This is evergreen. I don't think they say anything about these two packs being evergreen, but they call evergreen because that's the terminology we've learned for the past year. They never once said that with Daredevil in the Arkham stuff, or I'm sorry, the Marvel stuff. They never brought up evergreen content in this at all, which was kind of weird to me. It's kind of weird. February is Groundhog's Day. Let him make it spring. Let's go. Let's manifest it now. Recent content from Lord of the Rings and Arkham are out of stock. Yeah. Arkham is just a mess right now. I feel for that community. We do know the heroes are on sale in the US on Amazon for the holidays. Like you said, buy it when it comes out. Yes, 100%. If you want it, buy it. I don't think the game does well if new players can't get classics like Steve Rogers. I think they have to reprint those ones sooner than later. Like, it wouldn't shock me if they do the Daredevil wave. Let's say they do another Defenders type wave with some big names in it, and then they go back to reprinting old stuff. Echo was a D anti-hero villain C tier Hawkeye show. I'm sure she's in the comics, but that was my first experience with her, and they gave Echo her own show. Do not care. I've never heard of this evergreen stuff. What does that mean? So evergreen stuff is what they used in the in-flight report about, what was that, in February? January, February, and then followed up with one article. Basically, they said there will be Marvel Champions content in the future that is evergreen. Let me see if I can find it really fast. And this is what everyone wanted to know more about, is because no one fully understands what that means. And this is the big question, because they won't call anything evergreen. All right. So this was the article back in February. So it's like a week or two after it. I only care about mechanics. Also D20, I love Valkyrie. Valkyrie has the best mechanics. So, of course. Confused. We don't need a new core, to be honest. I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards D20. At least I remember him saying this. Give us more villains and we're good on heroes. Nah, that's about what I've said, yeah. That's why I was like scared at first, and it says 3 villains in that box, and I was like, oh, what? My Shuri is supposed to arrive in January in Canada? Jeez. Okay, so this is when they talk about current and legacy environments. So, let me see if I can go through this. Why am I doing it this way? Okay, so this practice allows us to define a more accessible current environment, which consists of the core set and or any evergreen perpetually in print expansions, as well as any new expansions that have not yet been retired. In practice, this will be approximately 2 to 3 years. It's been close to about 2 years, just FYI so far. Precise list of what is considered current environment will be maintained, updated by each line as new products are released or as older products are retired. This paragraph is what's causing a lot of people heartache because it hasn't been defined, right? We have no understanding of what that is. Nothing, I mean, I guess you could say the current core box, because they're saying the core set. But other than that, nothing has been defined as evergreen yet. They've used that terminology for Arkham now, but they have not used it at all for Marvel Champions. So a lot of people are just wondering, what does this mean, right? And they said, again, approximately 2 to 3 years. So when the big out of print date happened like a month ago, everyone was like, you said you were going to keep precise lists of what's current environment and will be maintained. Like, there's no list, there's no nothing. It's just gone. So that's where people were just like a lot of worriedness with it. Evergreen would mean that it's always in print. Wouldn't expect literally anything to be evergreen except the core set, and then they did like 5 evergreen heroes like they did for Announce. Maybe, yeah. The frustrating thing is, yeah, so a likely ETA for the launch of the current environment as an official format is early 2026. Bro, that is in a month and a week. And we still don't fully know. Now, they mentioned the beta environment, which according to my Arkham friends, beta environment is the term they're using for Arkham Horror to differentiate between current and legacy. So, and they mentioned in the live stream that will be announced sometime in December, mid-December, I think he said, with the new rules reference, not new rules reference. So they're finally updating the rules. Hopefully Tony can work his magic because I really like him with the rules. I think he'd do a lot of cool stuff with it. I'm guessing they didn't announce anything with that because, again, this was kind of mentioned in here that this would be talked about from Olivia. But this is like the big thing everyone's kind of like waiting for because it's coming real soon, allegedly. And I know a lot of people were saying before this post, they're like, oh, the things now are in current, but it's really not, right? But okay, as far as evergreen will be defined in 2027 at this point, I mean, maybe. And maybe they were just talking about it with Arkham at this point. I don't know. Even though the Arkham and Lord of the Rings and Marvel was listed in this, Arkham is the only one who uses terminology right now. Maybe Vault Series is handling the revamped heroes. Maybe they're calling it reprinted because they'll update new environment rules. That's quite possible. And again, we talked about the Vault Series before. If they do the Vault stuff and they do it as like their print on demand version for old heroes, all is forgiven with that stuff. By the way, I feel for those that got in the game later and can't find in Captain America for less than $100. It's terrible. Current expansion content is out of print. It's wild. I hope Vault brings back the heroes. Yeah. I thought Echo was an Avenger for a while after Disassemble and Breakout. Evergreen is whatever Thanos doesn't snap out of existence. Right now, the only Marvel Evergreen is Core. Yep. That is 100%. Lord of the Rings is irrelevant because no new content is being released. Yes, that is true. A lot of people hope with the Vault stuff that opens the possibility for Nightmare Pack and stuff like that. If they do 5 reworked evergreens for Arkham, I would say Cap, Hulk, Strange, Widow, Thor. When was the last release of Lord of the Rings stuff? Oh, it's been a while. Not including the reprint of everything. Like the reprint of all the boxes, like to the new format, was like last year, I think. But as far as the last like original content, it's been since the pandemic. 2020, I think, was the last thing that came out when they celebrated 10 years. I will say that just because, again, how can we have a new current environment if you don't have new rules and a new core? This is my argument. I agree with you, okay. So Fear No Evil is summer 2026. So according to them, is May then? Maybe? Question mark? Maybe. Arkham releasing a new core allows them to ease into the environment switch. Yeah. And that's why, again, people were wondering why I was so, like, new core is going to be the way for, because they were doing it for Arkham. It just makes the most sense to me. But D20 wrong. I would like a Hulk redo, to be honest. They're really using for no reason. Yeah. The rework of the Lord of the Rings core is a major thing. We got new original stuff in the Lord of the Rings core update. Like slight stuff. Not like a ton of stuff, right? So this core box added a few new things, yes. And I think all the boxes add like a dozen cards or so. We can say that Lord of the Rings is not an LCG, just a CG. True. True. Very true. Very true. So I don't know. I'll try it. So according to you all, because I've left this voting page up for a while, 49% of you are hyped for the announcement. 34 indifferent, not sure, and 17% not hyped. It's not bad. DCG. What even is an LCG anymore? I agree. I agree. I agree. Is Reddit saying anything else? Punisher should be a hero in this game. FFG themselves have used Punisher in multiple ways across other Marvel products. He's been in board games, minis, and card games for years. The brand can clearly handle him. If Uncanny X-Force, Deadpool, and the Hood are all playable feature, then the Punisher hero pack isn't crossing any new lines. Let's be real, Marvel Champions already includes characters that operate in morally gray areas. Venom, Ghost Spider, Cable, Wolverine. Even Deadpool is literally breaking the fourth wall while cutting things in half. Punisher wouldn't be the most violent hero thematically. His storylines in the comics are more grounded than gory. PG-13. Is he not going to be in the game? Again, he might be. He might be. He might be. Ludicrous. Legacy card game. Overall, I was disappointed about the presentation of the new set announcement. Not about the heroes at all. Just all the hype that was supposed to change the status quo. Sean, that's my biggest issue with it. Agreed 100%. Is that I really expected it to be like this big massive thing that all let's see if I can find the wording. It was in the comments somewhere. There's a lot of comments to go through. But yeah, they talked about how like a lot of our questions would be answered, and it just wasn't. My brother wants to get in Lord of the Rings, and I told him to just do it through TTS. He's gonna be hate hunting Elrond and Glorfindel heroes. Yeah. Of everything isn't evergreen, it's not an LCG. We just bought my nephew the core and Venom, but the out of print situation is making me wonder if it was a mistake. Yeah, I mean that's what stinks about this right now. I'm really not sure because I don't know, but I'm hyped for the content. But no assurances about anything else, which is more important. No Punisher is no different than no Emma or Beast, or no Sam and Bucky for years. They'll probably come at some point. I hope so. Punisher is showing up on a few upgrade cards. Yeah. I mean, I assume all heroes are on the table at some point. Again, before today, people were saying, why no Daredevil? He's on all the cards. He's on all the cards. And now we got him. Right now, well, we don't got him yet, but we're going to real soon. By saying, hey, Sumo, by not saying what Marvel products are evergreen, they're implicitly saying no current or announced product is evergreen. Agree 100%. So no promises doesn't mean the game is dead, just no evergreen. Yes. As it is now, it's just business as usual. So no legacy current for another year. Yeah, I guess the only thing they mention with it with current and legacy. Hold on. Just in case people have missed it, there was a slight discussion with it. Oops, wrong button.
In early December, so just a few weeks away.
That was it, right?
Look at some of the cards and some of the contents there, and we're excited to confirm this is coming in early December, so just a few weeks away.
It's been really exciting seeing Civil War happen because, of course, we've introduced this brand new player versus player mode. And just to say aloud, very specifically, just because we have a new play mode does not mean that you cannot play all of our Civil War products still with the typical co-op mode. So anyone concerned about that new mode, it's just optional, and it gives a really great way to kind of engage with the game in a new and unique way. Next, I know there is one more announcement that we are talking about in December. Can you tell us what is coming their way?
This is the Legacy
Absolutely.
current.
So we're excited. In December, we're going to roll out our next rules reference. And there within, we're going to introduce the beta environments for Marvel Champions. And so those waiting for the first look at those, you'll be able to dive right into that in just a few weeks, about mid-December.
So that will wrap up 2020.
So that's the only thing they talk about with the current and legacy. The beta is apparently the phrasing they use for Arkham Horror. So that phrasing is what we're kind of like waiting for now with it. So agreed. Hopefully with an Inhuman wave. Yeah, let's go. Maybe the reason we don't see Punisher as a hero is because of the violence in the comics, but maybe because a lot of real life dummies wear a symbol and do really crappy stuff. The show even highlighted it. Still hope we get him though. Yeah, but you can say that with a lot of things. There's always dumb people doing dumb things with symbols they don't understand. So, I mean, maybe it's not as prevalent, but still, it exists. So yeah, the beta environment is the only thing that we got like mentioned to with it, which again, we all kind of thought we were getting with PAX Unplugged. Not yet, unfortunately. It's probably coming at some point. I would assume he is. It would not, again, 2027 is supposed to be even bigger than 2026. So another Defenders wave, possibly. We need the cat that scratched Nick Fury's eye from the Terrible Scroll Show as a hero. Let's do it. Someone's selling their whole collection for $1,400 on eBay. It will be funny to see if the eBay listings increase or decrease now with people selling collections. Because it was going during Shield and Civil War and the talks with current environment, whatever. It'd be crazy. Won't we need new rules before more is said? Are there new rules not a roadblock to more info? Well, what, with the current and legacy stuff? To a point. To a point. They must have planned the current legacy stuff for a while. Why not just be up front and rip the banner off quick? Always be bellyachers and have a clear announcement would be better than uncertainty. I mean, it has been announced to us since end of January, beginning of February. So they definitely know of it. They definitely know what it's going to be. Again, I said it prior that my assumption that they're waiting for December is because just announcing the current and legacy environment, I guess, is weird for them because it's really just going to be like all your stuff is out of print, buy all the new stuff. That's probably what it's going to be realistically. And then moving forward, we're going to have all this evergreen stuff. I thought they would have started with 2026, kind of how they did with Arkham Horror. Guess that's not the case. Okay, whatever. So I would say that they want the rulebook to come out with it so they can clearly define what exactly it is. Maybe the rulebook will state exactly what evergreen content is, but I don't really know what that is. Oh my god, the first thing we're going to look up is Retaliate. Marvel literally makes fun of the Punisher fanatic take in the last week of Daredevil. What a fear-mongering take. Evergreen is a Magic the Gathering term, meaning persistently legal and rotating format. Yeah, but they define their term for it differently. That Evergreen would just be products. Yeah, so they refer to it as any other evergreen, perpetually in print expansions. So not necessarily cards, but expansions specifically. We still don't have Professor X as a hero. It's going to be a long time before you get him, I think. 2027 FFG announces Marvel Champions will transition to being a TCG. I don't think they'll do that. I think they would make a separate TCG for Marvel, though. I think that makes a lot of sense. Especially if they're working with the licensing rights with it already, with SWU. I don't see why not. It's been said in the past from a couple of sources that some I trust, some are not as much, that there was a rumor that the X-Men stuff would be a new core, and that was basically shot down. So there have been talks about new cores in the past. They just didn't do it with the X-Men stuff. Now maybe 2027 is they get the X-Men license back and they do another huge run of X-Men stuff. I don't really know. Long time ago was TCG Marvel and DC versus system fun TCG. Nice. Thanks, Cap. Appreciate you over there on Kick. But yeah, so I don't know, chat. But that's it. That's all the exciting, fun news that has happened. I guess we'll wait until December for the rules. Mid-December, we'll talk about the rules of what's going on. Hopefully, in there will Evergreen and Current and Legacy and Beta or whatever they want to call it now is good. Don't expect it to happen, but love a Star Wars LCG. Yo, me too, man. I just don't like how they have a whole year on one Marvel theme. It really felt like they were hyping us up for that Marvel was back and we were going to do 2 waves a year again. Pretty sure they will do a fireside chat or something to clear things up. I hope so too. I will reach out to Olivia and let her know that her or anyone on her team is welcome to come on and talk and clarify anything or expand upon things. 100%. But yeah, I agree with you, Heroes, that I really thought they were going to go back to two waves. I really thought so too. Thanks for going over it all. I was out with the family and missed the stream. Yeah, no problem, man. Also, Shbee, welcome. FFG's fireside chat about reprints will just be 2 hours of still image of middle finger fans. What we know is the new content is coming out. The game is not dead, and the sun will shine tomorrow. I think we're going to get another wave of the game is dead content, though. Like, not from me, but just in general. You already saw it on Reddit popping up, which maybe that's the Marvel Champions curse of us all. We'll love to see a fireside chat and see them sweating bullets over the comments. The comment section was not super pleased during the Marvel Champions section. Villain Theory has a video up. Nice. I saw him in the comments, so I figured he would say stuff. So that's not too surprising. Where's Namor? Where is he? Where is he? No, chat. All right. I gotta get out of here. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you all. Feel free to leave your speculations in the comments and whatnot. Feel free to complain. Be excited. Print demand already exists. Simply print your own. Magic the Gathering calls it proxying. Yeah. Namor's in Civil War. Yeah, but you can't play him. But no, I appreciate you all being here. Again, to end this, am I excited for Daredevil? Yes, 100%. I'm so happy for the Daredevil community that's won in for so long. Super hyped and excited for that. So great. I'm absolutely buying it. I'm happy they're doing this. This feels like a push. The only disappointing part of me is that I thought we were going back to a lot more content. I thought we were going to get definitions explained for what's legacy and current environment. We're going to get explanations for the out of print stuff. And we didn't get any of that. And I think in December, we're still not really going to get that. I think we'll get the rules reference. And I think they'll just be like, and moving forward, we're going to have evergreen content. That would be my assumption is what they said. So, oh well. Anyway, appreciate you all. I'll be live Monday. We could talk more about this Monday. We'll play some Marvel Champions stuff. But yeah, enjoy your Saturday, people. Yes. Enjoy your Saturday. Go outside. Hug your loved ones. Go have fun. Go play some Marvel Champions. And we'll see what the future holds. All right, everyone. Take care. Appreciate you all. Thank you.